That guy's here now, we should hear it.
Oh, that's the shot.
I'm not ready for that yet, thank you. But I did pick it before he showed up. Sorry about the delay. Wait for everybody to be back. Well, yeah, lunch for 10 recess.
We'll call meeting back to order. So I'll read the introduction. An organizational meeting is held each year to appoint committee members, appoint officials, and set policy on county's other business. The organizational meeting is a requirement of Section 192 of the Municipal Government Act and must be held within 2 weeks of the third Monday in October. Some decisions, such as the appointment of the chief elected official, can only occur during an organizational meeting, whereas others can be deferred if necessary, such as appointments of members of large policy changes. So first, voting, would you like to do it by secret ballot or show of hands?
Secret ballot.
Is everyone agreeable with secret ballot? Okay. Okay, thank you. So, number one on the list is, well, I guess a couple things. The Reeve is the ex officio committee member. So by virtue of the position, he's a member of all the committees, so he can show up at any committee meeting. Also, councillors are commissioner of oaths for the province of Alberta, and we will order you stamps so that it's for the term of, for your term to match your council term. And so now we move into the election of the Reeve. So I will call for nominations for Reeve. Les?
I'll nominate James Nybert.
Another one? I'll call for the second time. For the third time, I'll move nomination cease. So we'll need an election. They got ballots. They've got ballots.
Why, thank you.
Not working?
No, it's just slightly you while they're stepping in.
Now we can actually call you a counselor, and it's not an insult.
I really prefer Jess.
Yeah, make sure it's Stevens, yeah. I'd probably go with Mr. Stevens, considering the political ramifications.
So Larry is been appointed Reeve.
So we just need a vote to confirm the results of the, a motion to confirm the results of the vote.
Someone make that motion?
All right, Ernie's got it.
Okay, Ernie? Ernie? Okay. Ernie, you want to move that we confirm the results of the Reeve? All those in favor? Thank you. I'll swear the Reeve in.
Where the reading is.
Well, I do that on a regular basis anyway.
I, Lawrence Clark, solemnly swear and truly declare and affirm that I will honestly, faithfully, and to the best of my ability exercise the power and duties according to the law, the office of Reeve, County of Staedtler, number 6.
I was thinking, if you want to take over the meeting, and then if I have to sneak out, it makes it easier.
Yes. Okay, the election of Deputy Reeve. We've got a list, don't we, Andrew?
We need to create the list.
Okay.
Beginning of the term, we create the list. Or this is what's typical and it's set out in a procedural bylaw. So if you guys don't want to do that, everybody takes 8 months. Then we require an amendment to the procedural bylaw right back at the November meeting. But if you're happy to follow the process we've been doing for a few terms now, then we just need you guys to decide what the order should look like.
Just, I think we just pull the names out of the hat if anybody's kosher with that, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Is everybody fine with that?
I would propose that we just go by the ward. They are 1 through 6 states. One of us are out there. Would work for me.
That works, that's a good idea.
By word, you betcha.
We'll go in order of ward numbering then. Typically would skip over the Reeve that's appointed as the first. And so, yeah, Councillor Stuhlberg, if we could,
You have to have a motion for that?
yes, we would want a resolution to set that schedule and then as well swear in the new Deputy Reeve.
I'll make that motion that we go by the wards.
Councillor, yeah.
6 or 4 years.
Okay. All in favor? Carried.
Or you should come down here.
Yeah, making just facts. I, Lawrence Stuhlberg, solemnly swear and truly declare and affirm that I will honestly, faithfully, and to the best of my ability exercise the powers and duties according to the law of the office of Deputy Reeve for the County of Staedtler, number 6.
Thank you.
5.5 is seating arrangement and page 6 of the package. And with COVID, how are we?
So once again, similar to last year, I'm proposing we pass 2 seating arrangements. We briefly, very briefly went back to the quote unquote normal last year, so it was still worth it. The only change I'm proposing this year is that the Reeve and spot 4 be swapped. Just to keep the Reeve so he's got an equal number of counselors to either side. When he's up there, when he's down here, you're all kind of centered anyway, so. Other than that, you guys can discuss as to how you'd like to assign seats 1 to 6, and then they mostly mirror themselves in the physically distanced arrangement as well.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make that motion that we go with that as the seating arrangement change, and then we'll just have to make a motion to see who sits where.
Thank you, Councilor Weber.
Good with the way that you are.
Well, no, I'm just wondering, just
Setting the Reeve to start and then
change
do.
set the Reeve to be where they're at, and then we'll change
Yeah,
it, who sits where, in the second motion.
Okay, so the first motion on the table, all in favor? Carried. Did you make the second motion? or-
We had talked about having, either Justin or someone sit beside, Mr. McKay to help him out a little bit.
Yeah, so whatever works, if that's,
I like the way we're sitting there.
I'm just thinking for technically, if Paul has questions, maybe Ernie could switch with Justin, I don't know. Or Paul, with Les, or switch with Dave, yeah.
I'm good with the way they're sitting right now, but unless Paul has a problem with it.
I don't, I'll mumble through it and it's up on the screen anyhow, you know.
Fair enough. Okay, no, I just thought we could help you out if that was
Yeah,
fair enough.
no,
You
and
mentioned-
thank you very much, I do appreciate that.
Oh, yeah, your techie guy there, Andrew,
Yeah.
he's a go-to guy.
Yeah, but during the meetings and whatnot.
Oh,
We'll challenge him.
I'll be able-
No, I'll get.
we all work together, we all work together here anyhow, so it doesn't really matter.
We'll be good.
we need a motion then,
I'll make the motion to stay the way they are right now.
Councilor Grover. Questions, concerns, all in favor? Carried. 5.6, meeting date, page 7 of the package.
Currently, it sets as the second Wednesday of each month at 10 a.m. with lunch provided by the county. There has been discussions in the past about either changing to evenings or doing more. I think we've at least alleviated the not net meeting, additional meetings, because we do committee of the whole meetings now as well, which has kind of taken the extra business that made us think we might need a second meeting. And we do those 6 to 10 times a year, so.
Councilor Grover.
Have that night meeting thing, you don't have access to your staff, you don't have access to legal opinion. It might work for some that don't have as much on the books as what we do, but I think we should have them all in the daytime. And the second Wednesday suits me just fine, I'll actually make that motion.
Questions, concerns? All in favor? Carried. 5.7, per diems. It's page 8 of the package.
Following the page 8 is the actual policies. So we've adopted this by policy rather than requiring it be a motion. There is a minor amendment to make in this policy. I have proposed under Schedule A, right at the, or near the bottom, mileage per kilometer rate. We used to define this to match CRA, so we would put 58 cents and 53 cents each year, and we had to update it every year. I'm proposing we just say what we do in practice, which is it will be the automobile allowance rate as prescribed by the Canadian Revenue Agency, for better or for worse.
And currently it's 59 cents a kilometer, and then after 5,000 kilometers, you drop down to 55 cents.
3 cents, I think it is, right? For the-
Councilor Bender,
I'll make that motion, please.
questions, concerns? Oh, you have something?
Yeah.
Councilor Stevens.
With the ongoing budget cuts and some of the fiscal restraint the county showed, I would like to propose that we pull back 10% out of all of our per diems and monthly rates as a symbol to the public. Dollars wise, it doesn't make a huge difference to our overall budget, but I believe that symbols are important.
Mr. Chairman, if I could, this is a situation where right now, after we get through this prescribed setup, we might need to have this set into 2 motions. So, one motion being that we continue with the allowance as prescribed by Revenue Canada, and then a second motion to adjust our per diem.
Just need confirmation from the mover that you'd be comfortable with that. Like your motion as it stood, or as I understood it, was accept as proposed, which is what
You would be an amendment to that.
Yeah, so if if we want to break this up a bit more, we could start with just the CRA rates. That being the change.
We're going to exclude the
the meeting rates in?
Yeah, the first motion would just focus on setting your mileage to be equal to the automobile allowance rate as prescribed by Canada Revenue Agency, and then allow a counselor to make another motion regarding what you set your rates as.
Okay.
If that makes sense?
Yes.
Okay. So the motion then would read to the effect of that Counselor Gender has moved that the council remuneration policy CN 1.1 be amended under Schedule A for mileage per kilometer rate to read automobile allowance rates as prescribed by Canada Revenue Agency.
Motion on the table by Councilor Gender. All in favor? Carried.
Mr. Chairman, if I could speak to that, to Justin's note, I have no problem with that, but let's make it a prescribed amount versus a percentage. Percentage makes it very hard for administration to administrate, because if you're going to take 2750 out, and then you're going to take, yeah, it just becomes a little bit harder to do. So if you made a prescribed amount of whatever you're going to say, so.
So, for full days, basically, it would go down to $247.50. Half days would be $180. Same for conventions. Preparation supervision days would be $720. The Reeve would be, I don't know if I can have that good.
585.
585, yeah. And the deputy Reeve would be 225.
If it's simpler to everyone, I would be fine with just dropping all the day, half day, and monthly by $25. And then it's nice and simple, but it still matches the intent, I believe.
So 250 for a full day, 175 for a half day. And the same with the supervision?
Yes.
Okay, so that'd be 775. 650 would, for the region would be then 625. Deputy Reeve would be 225.
Questions, concerns? Councilor Grover?
I'm not in favor of this. I think it should be left where it's at. We haven't put it up for. But I'll be voting against the plan.
Any other comments, questions? Councilor McKay?
I feel the same as Councillor Grover, the same way. Because if this, we should take it down and then do it too, we put it back up. It's kind of a hit and miss thing. So I think if you don't change it, the people get used to it. And I would just assume see this continue for the next 4 years instead of dropping it and maybe coming back. Because we know everything's going to be going up in the coming days. So just my opinion.
Okay, so any other comments, or we got a question, or we got a motion on the table? Yeah, that's got the numbers written down. To drop, all in favor? Opposed? Defeated? Okay, 5.9, policy.
Gotta stay on this one, we have to make a motion, a positive motion to go forward with it, Mr.
Oh, okay.
Actually, to be honest, otherwise it stays as the default. Yeah, it's set in policy, so the only thing you need is to.
Point of order, I'd like to see a vote on how that goes forward.
Okay, so I guess we need a motion. Council Gender?
Make a motion that the remuneration stays the same as it has been in the past.
Question, comments? All in favor? Opposed? Councilor Nyberg, Stulberg, and Stevens opposed, but carried. Members at large, 5.9, policy C9 or CN 1.6, member at large and committee member remuneration, page 13 of the package.
So just introduce this one, same thing. We have proposed the CRA mileage be the language for mileage per kilometer rate. So we would just need a motion to accept as amended.
or you can look at altering member at large per diems separately. It does currently mostly match for our larger meetings, so appeal boards, and then our rural recreation board and rural crime prevention can be at $50 per meeting. Those are quite large numbers of people on them, and they meet a little less intensely, I guess, than an appeal board has. There's less pressure.
Yeah, well, if we do it the same as last, it would be the mileage, meeting CRA rates. Councilor McKay,
Except mileage.
questions, comments? All in favor? Carried. So on per diems for members at large. Councilor Stevens,
I'll make the motion that we accept the per diems as recommended. Members at large, their time is just as important as ours, so I would hate to see them get
questions, comments? Councilor Grover,
That's why we had it in the past, have it set that way. Thank you.
Councilor Gender.
On the crime prevention, what rates do they have?
Same as the ag board,
No, the rec board.
rec board.
Yeah, for $50 per meeting.
Plus mileage, right.
Other questions, concerns? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. 5.10, signing authority, page 17 of the package. Councilor Gates.
Just one question about the last one that we went over. Do we have people sitting on these boards that are confirmed to come back for this term? Or we still have to reach out to them to see if they're.
We'll go through board by board here later on in the meeting business, and you'll see where we do have vacancies and where we don't.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so 5.10, signing authority.
This is just to receive for information unless there's an amendment required. We specify that the CAO and the Director of Municipal Services are signing authority for negotiable instruments and agreements, and then minutes and bylaws are signed by the person who presides at the meeting, so the chair, for that specific meeting. And then bylaws should be signed by the Reeve and CAO.
Somebody to make a motion
I'll make a motion.
to receive for information.
Yep, receive for information.
That's what you were putting your hand up for.
Oh, go ahead.
It was for that auction
I
sale.
didn't want to be here.
Any questions, comments? All in favor? Carried. And then 5.11, policy AF 6.15, signing of documents, page 18 of the package.
So that is that same.
Same thing?
point. It's just the actual
Okay.
policy is attached.
Okay. So item 6, legislative appointments. 6.1, agricultural fieldman, page 20. Councillor Nyberg.
Chairman, I'll make the motion to appoint our agricultural fieldman as, I think we got it as Quentin still, don't we?
Okay.
And that's the only one we have?
Yes.
Questions, comments? All in favor? Carried. 6.2, weed inspector, soil conservation officer, and pest officer, page 20.
Last year, we changed how we started doing this one, and I'd recommend the same, and that would be the top option on page 21, which is that council delegate the responsibility to appoint additional weed inspectors, soil conservation officers, and pest officers to the agricultural fieldmen. It could also be delegated to CAO, or you guys could annually have us bring this seasonal staff forward. But the timing never quite works to hit the ground running and get a council meeting. So we like for an officer to have that ability.
Councilor McKay.
I'll move that we delegate agricultural field and
Questions, concerns? All in favor? Carried. 6.3, director and deputy directors of emergency management.
we
have them sitting, so we just look for a confirmation of the appointment of Clint, Chase, and Easlin as our directors and deputy directors respectively of emergency management.
Council Stolberg,
I'll make that motion to.
questions, concerns? All in favor? Carried. 6.4, fire guardians.
Fire guardians have a host of abilities under the Forest and Fire Protection Act by, you guys are ex officio guardians, as well as the chief administrative officer. So we also seek the fire chief, deputy regional fire chief, and platoon chiefs. You will notice a new name there. As of this morning, Lori Gordon has officially tendered her retirement. We all kind of thought it was coming eventually. She has held on with us for a long time. And has been ready to retire longer than we've been ready for her to retire. So Jeff Clausen will be stepping up to fulfill her role. And you'll have some details from us on a proper farewell for Lori and thank you coming in the future. But for now, we need a fire guardian. So the timing was just in under the wire, and that's why this package was updated this morning.
I'll make a motion.
For the
We'll be
first,
here till 7 o'clock tonight if somebody doesn't start making.
Hey, put your hand up. I made every other motion, or every one.
so it's the first option?
Yeah.
Okay. Council Kate?
Just a question. Jim was, though, he'd be the fire chief in Binder, I take it?
That's correct.
That's all.
And the same as Jeff Clausen would be a big one.
Yeah.
Got Shannon Marker in here.
I kind of figured that.
Questions, concerns? All in favor? Carried. 6.5, municipal solicitor, page 22 of the package.
Just an official point. We use whoever we need to. The official solicitor is just effectively who someone suing us out of the blue could contact. Currently, it's
Council Stolberg?
Would we appoint Brownlee LLP?
Option 2. Questions, concerns? All in favor? Carried. Legislative committees, 7.1 Agriculture Service Board, page 23 of the package.
So there are options here. So this is ASB. Typically, council sits as a whole, and it's just council. You always have the option to change that to include members at large.
Chairman, I'll make the motion.
That we appoint counselors to the Ag Service Board.
Questions, concerns?
Yeah, for 1 year. Because we'll do it again in our organization meetings.
No questions, concerns? All in favor? Carried.
And then we need to appoint a chairman for the same board.
Okay.
Chairman, I'll make a motion that we appoint Les Stuhlberg to the Ag Service Board. Chair.
Any other nominations? Okay.
Call it a second time and a third time.
Any other nominations for ASB chair?
I'll call nomination cease.
Okay. Councilor Stolberg?
Congratulations.
Thank you. Sometimes a bright light, never a bright.
And do we then?
I'm the vice chair.
Vice chair?
Chairman, I'll make a motion that Paul McKay become vice chair of the Ag Service Board.
Sorry.
Any other nominations? Calling a third time? Nomination, can I have nomination cease?
I'll give you nomination.
The chair closes nominations. There's no motion.
And, so, Paul McKay. Congratulations. Congratulations. Okay, then we are at, MPC?
Yep.
7.2 Municipal Planning Commission, page 25.
MVC is the same ballgame as ASB. Typically, it's been all of council. Always have the option for members at large if you'd like. So we need a motion for the members, the chair, and the vice chair.
Council Stolberg?
I'll nominate James Nyberg. Seems to know this one backwards and backwards.
Okay. Is there any other nominations for MPC? Any other nominations for MPC? So nominations close. James, welcome. Congratulations. And then deputy chair for MPC.
I'd like to make a motion that Justin Stevens be deputy chair for MPC. It's a great learning opportunity for you, Justin.
Council Grover.
If Les would accept it, I would nominate him.
I'd be fine with that for my first year if, less than that role.
Okay, as long as you're willing to step in there, because I don't wanna, if you want it, I don't. I know, I think it's good to get some new.
Come on, we don't take a vote. I vote.
It's up to you, Les, whatever you're.
Well, I'll accept it, but I guess if Justin wants to do it that way.
Any others? Council Gender.
Nominate
I'm good with Les.
Okay. Any other nominations? Nominations closed. Congratulations, Russ.
So just to Justin, there is a couple of training sessions that you can take. One being it's still a lot of routine.
This one works? Okay, sorry. So it's the mic's fault, not mine. There's a couple of training that I'm hoping COVID will get those, but you should get in contact with the vet or Andrew to line up your training sessions for those. So, assessment review board and then the assessment review board, and what's the other one?
Yes, DB.
Yes, TVA, yes. When they come, we don't know. It's set up by RMA or the municipal government. So
How often do you have to take those?
we'll do it. Appreciate it.
Typically every 3 years.
Every 3 years, so might as well have to take it, James. So, yeah. Okay. 7.3 assessment review board. I guess we're going into the next two topics we were talking about.
So the assessment review board, as well as a couple of others, it's an appeal board. They get to be a quasi judicial board, so they operate kind of like a court with a hearing. With the assessment review board, we'll typically appoint 4 counselors and 2 members at large. And then we also have to designate who the chairman and clerks will be. And at this point, often the question is who has their training. I think probably everybody's pretty well expired. We'll be arranging assessment review boards. Fortunately, assessment review boards can only convene between the time we send out tax notices and a deadline at the end of the summer. So we've got some time to get everybody trained before they could potentially hear an ARP.
How many do we typically appoint?
4.
Council Grover.
I gotta pick 4. Can I do that?
I guess.
I'll pick Larry, Ernie, Justin, and James. We to pick 4 for that. Unless somebody else wants to put their name in there. Then we'll go to a draw.
Do a motion like that's a great way to get the day done.
Thank you. What we were sort of hoping here.
Is there other names to come forward?
Any other names? You got anybody else want to sit on it?
Sounds good to me.
Seeing none, that's,
You can call the question.
I'll call it
as
as
a resolution.
all in favor?
Carried.
And so we need a member at large. Do we need to reappoint Mr. Chapman?
You can reappoint Mr. Chapman now if you would like. As well, we will be bringing back a bunch of these vacancies. With the first organizational meeting of the term, we tend to want to see what direction your committees are going to go for the member at large prescription before we advertise. So after this meeting, we will start advertising for all the positions we have and bring back more.
Let's make sure Mr. Chapman's willing to put his name
He is
forward.
willing. I have touched base with most of our existing sitting. Mr. Chapman in specific shows up a lot, and he's willing to sit there. So
I'll make the motion that we appoint Mr. Chapman.
Are we gonna bring them back so that everybody has a chance at them? Is all.
That is the other option council has. If you want to defer any member at large appointment at this time, you can, and see if there's all of us on a swarm of interest.
We've had a hard time getting anybody to sit on this one, so I am very confident that this isn't going to happen. I'll still make the motion, Mr. Chairman, that Mr. Chapman be appointed. He's also got his training for the next little bit, so.
He's been within the last 3 years.
I know he's been there, so he's had training. I'm not sure when it's.
I do think we might see more interest this year, at least from comments, but till the.
With the election and everything,
We don't know that, but-
whatever.
And we've got, how many members at large on that one?
Just two that we normally.
Okay, well, that still gives us an opportunity to look at the other ones for the second one.
We did, it's supposed, we would actually want to fill a third one as well. We have had in the past.
Okay.
That should have been 2 vacants. We lost, Gord earlier last year, I believe it was, Gord Latham, and then Gregory Jackson, doesn't, have time to sit anymore,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Okay. So we have a motion on the table for one. Okay, all in favor? Carried.
What about the chairman? Do we need to appoint?
We do need to appoint a chairman, typically of one of the 4 councilors, because each board sits with 3 members, 1 councilor and 2 members at large when they convene.
Chairman for that board. Council Grover.
Ernie,
Melanie James.
now we're getting some action. That's good. You want to be in? I'll be naming it.
Anybody else, I guess, want to put their name forward into that group? Because if not, got Council Nyberg. Question to the table, all in favor? Carried. Okay, then we are on to Subdivision and Development Appeal
We
Board.
just need 1 motion
Do we
to,
need a vice chair?
no, not for that one, but we just want to confirm the clerks as well, being Yvette Cassidy, Shauna Benson.
They are all available?
Yeah.
Okay. Need a motion to confirm clerks. Counselor Stevens?
I'll make a motion to confirm the clerks as recommended.
Any questions, concerns? All in favor? Carried. Then we are on to Subdivision and Development Appeal Board.
We can take a tiny bit more time with this one. So the Subdivision Development Appeal Board, we have had appointed locally for quite a while. A few changes have happened in the last number of years. One is the scope of the provincial body. The Land and Property Rights Tribunal has expanded, so fewer complaints or fewer appeals will see our board. And additionally, a couple of years ago, we had one development that had a series of appeals, and we kept trying to get new board members. So we got a bunch of new board members who also all happen to sit on the regional SDAB that Parkland Community Planning Services utilizes, which we are now a member of within the last 2 years, 3 years since WAPA came in, I guess. So we have the opportunity, if council would consider, instead of actually appointing members at large from this, they can delegate their authority to appoint to the PCPS's administrative committee, and they can appoint their members to the regional board, and we can amend our bylaw that we would utilize the regional board. The cost annually is about $500, and then we pay per diems kind of as you go, and all of the rates very closely mirror our own. So the cost implication would be fairly well just an even cutoff. That's what we pay. We just have some costs.
Council Silver
I'll make that motion to go with that route.
with Parkland.
I think it's a good choice. Like, it keeps it arm's length, which when we were dealing with Paradise Shores, we found that to be an advantage. Also, we're guaranteed a registered planner for a chair, which we're having a difficult time filling.
Actually, sorry, the one change on that is instead of a registered planner as a chair, you get a registered planner as a clerk. You get the same insight, but they've got a big pool to pull from. So even if it's, so Craig is normally who's our go-to there. Well, now we're using him for MPC matters. So he wouldn't be a clerk or a chair or a sitting rep. What they can do is actually PCPS has a deal with a few other municipalities like Rocky View and Sundry, and I think a few other municipalities where they'll provide their planner to clerk, and it works great.
Any questions or concerns? Motion from Council Stolberg on the table. All in favor? Carried. 7.5 Weed Control Act Appeal Board.
So if I could, Mr. Chairman, so with that, what we've just done, do we sit as a member of the planning?
Yeah, so further down, we'll have it's not their specific appointment committee necessarily, but Parklands Board, we now need to appoint somebody to.
Oh, I see. Oh, we just didn't put it in order. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, we do all of our legislative things and then we go alphabetically.
Okay. No, fair enough. I knew that we would have to do that and I just thought it would be right after it, but fair enough. That's cool.
Also, whoever goes on as the board member from Parkland will probably be the chair.
Okay. What's up? Councilor.
Do we have to appoint the clerk too on that?
No, that's been delegated as well for the last motion.
Okay. Thank you.
As Andrew said, that the clerk could be a certified planner also, or would be.
Yeah, typically none.
It's
They can save some money and not use one, but
that better?
yes.
Okay. 7.5, excuse me, Weed Control Act Appeal Board.
So this one, we haven't heard back from, we have heard back from one that stepped back and haven't heard back from one. The other two have confirmed. I'm not sure I've seen one of these can be. So we'll advertise for these and double check, and we'll probably need to bring it back anyway. So you can set, Blake and Joe are confirmed that they would continue to set. Haven't heard back from Alexis yet.
Councilmember.
We'll appoint to Blake and Joe, make a motion to do so.
Any other? Until we go through. Councilor Gender.
Just wondering, is Carlson still within the county?
We'll have, when they come back, we'll just have to
Find out later on. It's just, it is.
We've never, my 11 years here, we've never sat this board. It still needs legislatively be there, but we haven't sat it.
So we have a motion on the table for Blake Chapman and Joe Gender on there, and then seek two other ones. All in favor? Carried. 7.6 Emergency Management Committee, page 28 of the package.
So we need 4 reps to sit on the county's emergency management committee, and then from those 4, they typically choose 2 to sit on the regional committee.
Who wants to sit on it? Let's, Justin, you want to sit on it? Larry, you want to sit on it?
Yes, I know.
Ernie? Dave? Paul?
I'm good, I'm okay with it.
You're good to sit on it? Les? No, thanks. I'll be the 4th one. I'll even nominate myself, so we'll have 4.
There you go. We can
Sit here and navel gaze all day, or we can get this done.
Exactly. It's all part of the process, Councilor Nyberg. So,
Well, do we have?
So it'll be myself, Larry, Justin,
Paul?
Paul.
so we don't really even have to vote on that.
It's a just resolution. It is a resolution.
I'll make a resolution to confirm them.
Okay. All in favor? Carried. Advisory and external committees, 8.1 Battle River Research Group, page 30.
Typically the 4 determine who will move forward to the regional. So I won't go through these again. You got the 411 in the orientation. We just need 1 representative and an alternate for Battle River Research Group.
Councilor Nyberg.
I'd like to nominate Paul McKay. He's right close there. It makes sense. He's farms. He's good to go.
Any other nominations?
I don't know. I said on no, whatever.
I'll nominate Dave. You know,
Paul, do you want to take it or?
absolutely, but if
Okay,
Dave's still on it, I don't know when his term is up or whatever, but,
fair enough. Yeah.
it is what it is.
Okay.
You know, I'm interested in that one, too.
Well, there is an alternate on this one, so
Yeah.
we want one for each.
If Dave wants to sit on it, I'll be open.
Done. Move on. When I'm done, I can do the motion.
We need a motion on that, so.
I'm gonna change that to a motion.
Counselor Stevens?
I'll make the motion that Dave be our representative and Paul be our alternate.
Okay. All in favor? Carried. Buffalo Lake Intermunicipal Development Plan Steering Committee, page 30 of the package. Okay, Counselor Stewart. Okay, any other nominations? Counselor Gender?
Nominate Larry.
I can probably sit on it as, the only thing I'd like to be around and on for is for what we just went through this past 2 years. But I can sit on it as ex officio.
Official, yeah.
We wouldn't have a vote if our sitting representative is there, but
Yeah, still be there for the information piece.
If you're interested in going in there, the only thing that I have an issue with, if we do that, the per diems on that particular board get pretty skookum. We end up spending $500 a meeting, where if we have one representative, if that representative is Larry, it's Larry. Yeah, we've gotten grief in the past for that particular situation, so.
Okay, well, if that's the case, I would put my name forward too then, because there's been a lot of work put into that, so. Any other nominations? Okay, so we need to vote.
Get the vote again. Give me two. I get to vote twice.
I think we should have scrutineers in there. Are you the official returning officer of it?
Fill out the form. So, Larry, the members for the Buffalo Lake IDP.
Now we have to vote. Okay, we have to vote that, to accept that vote.
You have to confirm it.
I'll do that.
Okay, Counselor Stillberg, all in favor? Carried.
Then I'll appoint Justin as alternate to that.
To further that point, appreciate that, Les. This is my ward. I have an in-depth knowledge of the lake. I field a ton of questions. So I would even waive my fees so I could go to these meetings on a regular basis so that I could have an informed opinion when my residents reach out to me.
Okay, cool. So that, you could still be deemed as alternate.
So, Mr. Chairman, I mean, what could happen here is, as Reeve, you get paid an extra per diem to be the Reeve and some of the stuff. So you could go and volunteer your time and put Justin as the member at large, or the member appointed to that. That's just my thoughts on that. So
It's just, you're sitting at the table voting with a bunch of different people right now.
Yeah.
So that, to have the vote, that's, I want.
no, fair enough. I think that it would be prudent though for somebody to step up.
I would vote Justin as alternate.
I think we have a motion already on the table from Counselor Stillberg. But you'd be welcome to attend. All in favor? Buffalo Lake Management Team.
This one is one that the province used to authorize and fund, and they cut their funding to it. It was deemed important by the member municipalities around the lake, so they kept it going. We pay the per diems of the counselor that attends, but it is a committee that basically makes recommendations about whether or not they start pumping water into the lake and other issues.
Yeah, they effectively lobby interests for the lake.
And the mooring ball season and a lot of those pieces.
Yeah, all of those are lake-based issues. It becomes a lobbying group that's seen some considerable success.
Yeah, with Persian carp, there could be quite a conversation next couple of years. Councilor Stewart?
I'll move to appoint Justin.
Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Nominations closed, so Justin,
Yeah.
you're it. 8.4,
So you need an alternate for that one too, Mr. Chairman.
okay. Alternate,
I'd like to make a motion that Ernie Gender be the alternate.
okay, with that, Councilor Denton?
I doubt you're ever gonna have an issue with being there, Mr.
I don't think there's gonna be anything there anyhow. All in favor?
It very, very seldom meets. So.
All in favor?
Yeah, all in favor? Carried.
Yeah, good. Move on.
But there,
Oh, that's too bad, Ernie.
Central and Rural Municipals Association Directors Committee, there's the Reeve, the Deputy Reeve, and CEOs from all Army member municipalities.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make the motion that Reeve and Deputy Reeve and alternate be the past Reeve, which past Deputy Reeve, he's not here, so I'm not sure who the past, who's the past Deputy Reeve. You are, right, Les?
So I think if the need arises, that council can decide who should fulfill that role in the next 8 months.
So I'll make the representative the Reeve and the Deputy Reeve, and alternate be the past Deputy Reeve. And if we don't make it go that way, we don't make it go that way.
All in favor?
Move your screen there,
Sorry about it.
fella. Or if you're not, or else give me some paper.
Okay, Committee of the Whole. Committee of the Whole is a committee of all council primary designed to workshop draft resolutions, bylaws, and other implementations by which council can act. And 8 to 10 per year, which I think we had more last year, but
I'm being optimistic.
Yeah.
With no actions actually required for this, it's just there for reference.
I'll make the motion, council as a whole.
all in favor? County of Staedtler Housing Authority.
So this is pretty standard, but one thing to note, so the town of Staedtler has one councillor and then they have one appointed member at large with no voting authority. They are looking for sort of our blessing on having one councillor with full voting privileges and one councillor with the non-financial voting privileges. Their member at large was elected to their council. It doesn't change the representation to the votes that they would have. The CAO from the town gave me a call this morning just to say that they were looking at if that would be possible. This agreement needs to come forward anyways. They still got Bob the Gatsby and all the old stuff in it, so.
Councilor Nyberg.
So to that end, actually, we are governed under the Housing Act, so it's a little bit different. Who they appoint, we absolutely have no jurisdiction. It'll be done at a board level. Sean reached out to me and asked me if the board would have a problem with it, and I don't see there being any issue to it. They can appoint anybody they want, really. We've got some of our boards out there that they have appointed people from the county on positions that are in
This was one of them at one point.
So I don't see there being any issue with that at all.
So we need to,
Yeah, they just want to make sure we had no objections. Beyond that, we need to do the per standard, our own appointment and alternate appointment.
Councilor Stewart.
I'll nominate James.
Any other nominations?
I'll nominate Dave.
And there are 2 seats there. Sorry, I've got a 1 next to current appointment, but that should have been it.
So any other nominations?
Would you like to come on as our alternate? I'll make that nomination.
As one motion.
I'll make it as one motion. Yes, we'll make it as one.
I'll make it as one, because I started.
Please do this.
Simplifies it a little bit.
Any other? All in favor? Carried. Okay, IDP Plan Committees.
So the IEPs, we've got, Staedtler's not included in this one, we have one later down that does Staedtler, but just Big Valley and Tonelda. Typically, we've had it sat as the area counselor, the MPC chair, and the Reeve. And if any of them can't make it, or if that's the duplicate of any one person, then the deputy would typically sit as well.
Move it.
Counselor Grover. Questions, concerns? All in favor? Carried. Intermunicipal Collaborative Framework Committee.
Okay, so this one will need a couple actions for. The actions I have a little funny there, sorry. So the ICCs for the town, we need one counselor and the Reeve. Typically, it's been the area counselor. And then for the villages, I believe our agreements specify it will be the Reeve, and then on their side, it's the mayor. And then we need the alternate appointed as the deputy Reeve. So I suppose you could, if you're in agreement with that, you could bundle it all up into one motion.
Counselor Grover.
I'll move it all as one motion. I think it's good. It's what it should be.
Any questions, concerns? All in favor? Parkland Community Planning Services. That's that talked.
Yeah, this is that new one. So we need a member to at least sit for their annual general meeting, which they also have a second meeting in the year typically. But then whoever's going to sit on this probably plan to be on their board of directors. And yeah, as I said, quite possibly even sitting up as chair. Their board of directors was just appointed, 5 members right before the election, because it's just how their stuff falls. 2 of them are left. So there will be a special meeting probably in November or December for the general members. So it would make sense for us to have a representative there. We're also likely going to be, if we're not already quickly, their largest club.
And there's one representative and.
Get one representative and an alternate.
Yeah. Okay. Counselor
I
Stobart.
think James would be a good fit on this one, actually. So,
Any other nominations? So, Counselor Nyberg, all in favor? Carried. Parkland Regional Library System, Staedtler Public Library.
We always handle these ones together because the representative for the library locally typically is always also our representative for Parkland. So we'd be seeking an appointment for that counselor. And then for the Staedtler Library, we also need to appoint 4 members at large.
Counselor Nyberg.
I'd make a motion that Les Stuhlberg, and do we have the 4 members put their name forward still? Like all 4 of them?
Yeah, I spoke with Ron, our librarian, and they had discussed at their last meeting, I believe, and
they were wondering if they were on for 1 more year or if they were up this year too.
yeah, we had only extended their term to the end of 2021. However, it sounded like all of them were still willing to sit.
That's right, yeah.
And to make it one motion, Paul or Justin, would either one of you like to sit as a representative on there?
That's all I'm expressed an interest.
Okay. So as an alternate, does that sound good? Okay, I'll make the motion that Justin sits as the alternate on that.
Anybody else interested in sitting on it? Oh, you're good with that? Okay. Okay, and then did you said the members at large in that?
Members at large as posted.
Okay. Any other questions, concerns? All in favor? Carried. Position Recruitment and Retention Committee.
I think we went over it fairly well in our orientation. We're just looking for 1 representative and 1 alternate.
I've said on it before. I don't think you're going to set right away anyhow. I don't think you're going to recruit anybody. Whatever.
You'll, Councilor Grover? Okay, anybody else? Calling in?
You want to make the alternate as well at that time?
And I guess we can make the alternate as well.
Justin, would you like to sit as the alternate?
Sure.
Ernie, you would make that as a motion?
Ernie, would you put that as your motion? Okay. Dave, it's a motion for Dave to be sitting on it and Justin as alternate. All in favor? Carried. County of Staedtler Rec Board.
Justin for this one. He's expressed an interest. I've sat on it for a few terms, so I think pass the torch would be a good idea.
Any other nominations? Twice?
We do need an alternate as well.
Paul, I would nominate Paul as alternate.
Okay, we would. Les, would you, or take that as your,
Paul, is that something you would like to sit on as rec?
Alternate, he only goes when he doesn't go though, right?
Yeah, no, I'll add that to my motion.
okay, thank you. Okay, all in favor? Carried. Okay, Red Deer River Municipal Users Group. Council Jenner. Any other nominations? Any other motions? We don't need an alternate for it, so. And do we need to vote on that now?
Oh, yeah, just because we're taking this
Okay,
resolution.
so our motion on the table, all in favor? Carried. Rural Crime Prevention Committee, which it may be changing to, could be changing.
Like a rural
Crime
community
law.
policing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
2 council members, 9 members at large, and one county peace officer, and 1 RCMP member.
That's some new life breathed into it a little bit, with Sergeant Holidays, thank you. Coming on, he seems quite eager, our CPOs are quite eager, and so if we can get enough members at large, it could be a rocking committee.
Did you check the list of members?
We haven't heard back from most, but we've got to fill something.
Okay. He has an interest in that.
Okay.
If anybody else has?
Other motions for representatives?
Just wondering if everybody required to on that one.
No.
I think until maybe they make a decision where they're going forward, it wouldn't hurt. Because it does, the county's such a big partner in it.
Motion, did you sit on it too? And then let somebody else wants to.
Any others that want to sit up?
We'll move along here, guys.
I think Dave made the motion.
I make a motion, yeah, you two, if nobody else wants to.
But there's alternate too, we got 2 reps and
Oh, 2 reps and an alternate.
Yeah.
Who wants to be the alternate? Make the motion.
you're the one there, Justin?
Jeff's gonna be the alternate. Okay.
Okay, all in favor? Carried. Shared Use Recreation Field Committee.
So we're recommending that we don't appoint to this one this
Okay.
round. These types of projects should go to the ICF committee.
Okay. So do we just,
Yeah, we don't, no action necessary. We just left it there so that you saw the continuity.
okay, Sherwood McClellan Regional Water Services Commission? Council Grover?
I would nominate Larry Clark, if it's ever, with Reeve, usually be Ben Standing and Reeve. I would nominate him and Paul McKay. Showed interest in it, is that right?
I've sat on it since its inauguration in 2002-3, so I know it quite well. But in the last 6 months are the times that I know, and I do enjoy sitting on that.
If somebody else knows
Roast beef
who
dinner.
wants to.
The roast beef dinners that we haven't been able to have very.
No, it's not necessarily roast beef, but they have a quite selection most of the time.
That's after COVID, that kind of fell off.
Hot dogs aren't good, hey?
Yeah.
If somebody else wants to sit on it, whatever. Move on.
Last year, Duranda.
I was gonna nominate you.
So you nominated both of us, Dave, or?
I nominate you as a member.
Okay. Any other nominations? All in favor? Carried. Staedtler Airport Committee.
Just need one representative for this one.
And how are your snowplowing skills? Because I lost my snowplow driver.
I'll nominate James.
Okay.
What is it gonna do?
You were gonna do that, Dave? Okay, anybody, any other nominations for that?
You've got 2 positions to fill, James. I can't, right.
Any other nominations for that? All in favor? Carried.
But you could choose to find a community member.
Staedtler Community Economic Development Committee. Meeting schedule as invited.
Yeah, this one, it's actually the Towns Committee. We're invited for representation on regional projects, so it's not super often, but we like to have these sitting members so that we're ready if they come to the table on short notice.
I've sat on this committee in the past, and the new director of the, for the,
Board of Trade.
Board of Trade has reached out and talked to me already about it.
So you'd like to sit on it?
I would, Mr. Grover, I think.
That'd be a done deal. I nominate you.
Any other nominations? For a second time? All in favor? Carried. Staedtler District Ambulance Association.
This one, we need 2 counselors and 1 alternate, and they meet quarterly.
They meet quarterly?
Yeah.
Or?
We've been on there in the past.
I've sat on it, me and Wayne both sat on it. I've sat on it since we got it to privatized and we run it and everything else. I'd like to sit on it again if we could, but need to be nominated. But
Councilor Stillbird,
I'll nominate Dave and Justin.
you're okay with that, Dustin?
Yeah.
Yep. Any other nominations?
And the alternate, Ernie? Is that what I heard?
Is
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I heard. I could have sworn that's what I heard, Mr. Stolberg.
you're probably right.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Hearing check, so I.
If it hasn't been scrolled up for enough, I didn't realize.
We can get quite busy.
Oh, yeah, there we
Move
go.
forward with it. I think there's some changes coming down from the province. Also, a new contract needs to be negotiated with the agents. So I'll be dragging you to meetings.
So we've got Councilor Grover, Councilor Stevens, and Councilor Gender as alternate.
yeah,
All in favor? Carried. Staedtler District Family and Community Support Services. 2 reps.
Yeah, this one, we need 2 reps and an alternate and a member at large. Mr. Sherman has confirmed he'd be willing to continue to sit on this board.
Less
I'd sit on it again. James, would you?
Sure.
Nominate James and Les.
And Blake is member at large.
We need an alternate too.
Justin's the alternate.
Not Ernie, weren't you the alternate before?
Oh, you all night before? Whoa, I'm tripping on.
Very, very seldom you're ever gonna use an alternate. This is the
You
meeting.
never used alternate, did you?
Never had one, yeah. Never.
Don't be afraid to be the alternate, is what I'm saying.
So we've got Councilor Nyberg, Councilor Stillberg, and who is the alternate? Is it? We've got fingers with.
Justin.
Huh? I'm making the motion, whichever one of you 2 want to. It is.
Stevens is the alternate, Councilor Stevens,
It's the alternate.
and member at large, Blake Chapman. Okay, all in favor? Carried. Staedtler Health Services Foundation and Staedtler Hospital Facility Committee.
1 representative, 1 alternate.
And
Mr. Grover back on there. And the alternate be Mr. Gender. Is that cool?
Cool.
Yes.
Any other nominations? Second time? All in favor? Terry, did you have your hand up again, or you were just? Go ahead. Yeah, okay. Staedtler Intermunicipal Development Plan Joint Committee.
So this one is the Staedtler IDP. As I mentioned before, it stands separate because it has, we have 2 representatives we need for it. Typically, one of those is actually, I think we typically had in the past, both the wards that border Staedtler, so the Staedtler ward and Erskine South ward.
Councilor Stewart?
I'll make the motion that we appoint Ernie and James then, because their wards
Touch.
that's Staedtler.
Any questions, concerns? All in favor? Carried.
That one does have quite a bit of work, by the way, now that you're appointed.
Staedtler Regional Fire Department Advisory Committee.
Who sat on this last time?
Sheree and Ernie. Names on the waste.
He was on the waste management.
Councilor Grover?
How long they, Paul and, or you sat on last time, did you, or whatever, or somebody else wants to, I'll nominate you two anyhow. Because I know he likes the firefighting thing.
And they can fire.
Huh?
He's tired of him.
Whatever, if somebody else wants to, let's get the name.
Any other names to go forward with that?
That's
Nominations?
No, I'm good. There's 2.
Second time?
Let's move on.
Okay, all in favor? So that was Councilor McKay and Councilor Gender.
Oh, we do need an alternate for that one too as well.
Really?
Well, it's there on the books anyways. Might be one that does, I think that's usually a lunch meeting. The food meetings, the alternate never gets to go. Nobody ever misses a meeting that provides food.
Reeve must have stuck me in here because I don't ever remember agreeing to this, but yeah.
Yeah, you've been there quite a bit.
Yeah.
And
Fun.
An alternate? It's a noon meeting. I would be alternate for as often as it happens. It's,
yeah,
yeah.
that's actually, I think, maybe what we've done.
We did in the past because you got to watch kind of people are voting, so. Our town partners a lot of times have 3 there. Are you in motion on that, or?
If everybody's okay with it, posthumously forming the last motion.
Okay, is that fine then?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, if I get called up, we'll. Staedtler Seed Cleaning Plant. 7 members at large, 1 county representative.
And then 1 alternate as well. So 1 rep and 1 alternate.
Okay, Council Stolberg,
I'll nominate Dave as the rep and Paul as the alternate.
okay with that? Any other? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. Staedtler Town and County Museum is 1 rep and 1 alternate. Councilor Nixon was on the list. Councilor Grover,
Justin Stevens.
any other representatives?
Ernie, you want to be alternate for that?
We'll pick on the old guy now, eh?
Absolutely.
You'd be close to being there, so. Will you add Ernie as alternate? Okay.
Grover, that's what you said.
Yeah, that's exactly must be what I said. Let's go move on.
I could agree with that.
Okay.
So you're
Any others?
Oh,
Councilor Stevens and Councilor Gender?
Yeah. All in favor? Carried. Okay, Staedtler Waste Management Authority, it's typically the same day as the fire, and it's 2 reps and 1 alternate.
who is?
Councilor Stolberg?
Oh, I know who it
To
is.
see Justin go on as 1, because he's had quite a bit of experience in this area in Edmonton.
For not being somebody that didn't want to get very many committees.
I'm an expert on garbage and biosolids, you bet.
Put him on there last time. Yeah. Put him on there for now.
Anybody else?
Ernie was on there last time. Want to leave your name stand? Yes.
Ernie
We
to
need an alternate.
alternate?
Paul McKay.
I think Paul's been on there before, I mean.
I was there a long time.
Yeah.
Okay. Any others? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. Then we're the agenda.
FCM, unfortunately, we have no action to take there because we don't have a schedule from them.
Okay.
So this FCM stuff will just have to come to council at large, yeah.
Whatever.
And then we just need a motion, I believe, for the destruction, to delegate the destruction of ballots to administration.
Counselor Nyberg,
I'll give you the motion to have the ballots destroyed
all in favor?
in an environmentally friendly way.
Is that burn them and cook a hot dog and then eat the hot dog?
Yeah, then we